Alright, so this kind of showed up unexpectedly on my door this afternoon, and I know we've all been waiting for it. I know I've been waiting for this for a while, and there's a long period of silence. We didn't know if it was canceled. There are all sorts of rumors flying about. No, it's in the pipeline. It is just about ready to go here, as you can see by the packaging and what you're going to see here in the video. But it is the Microblaze Creations MBC002 Military Titans. It is basically a brand new Voyager-class onslaught, to go with your Fall of Cybertron Bruticus, whether you have the SDCC or the retail version. The G2 version, I don't know if they're going to do one. Well, I guess it all depends on how well this one does. This one's kind of a generic one that works with... It's designed mostly for the retail release, and all the parts that are included with it are the... in the package itself are for the retail release. You will notice there's a little sticker down here in the corner that shows it comes with a Berserker face and SDCC parts and Berserk mask. Now those SDCC parts match the Platinum one or the Comic-Con version that we got that was painted, like, colored a little bit more in the colors from the video game. Onslaught is based off of, like, again, the retail version, but it works really well with the exclusive set. And since that's the one I have that was out, I think I have the retail version somewhere, but it's like in the shed in a bin or something. So we're going to show it off with these exclusive SDCC parts. I will show off the retail version parts that swap out as well. But yeah, it's a nice box. You can see there's some art on the back here. You can see his 3 modes, the torso, the chest, the vehicle. Here's everything that comes with it, and you'll see there's Onslaught himself, then some parts for Swindle, a foot part for Brawl, blasters. There's a bunch of extra accessories here for Brawl right here. There's a couple of guns. You see these fists, this crotch plate, and these 2 feet parts all go on Brawl, and you can transform with them, which is really, really cool. And then there's some armor parts for Swindle and some extra parts, a couple of guns, and we'll get all into that. And it comes just in a plastic, tray here in the box itself. Everything's out of here, so we're not going to focus too much on that. But I just want to show it off. It is a nice, solid box. The art on the front is really, really cool. So here is Onslaught himself, and we'll go ahead and bring it down. I guess this is the Military Titan set. I'm not sure if... I didn't see a specific name for this character. I'm just going to call him Onslaught for the sake of ease in this. And he's a nice, big, beefy assault vehicle here. And you'll notice that he's got these cannons. These come attached. I wish these plugged together a little better. But the cannons are on hinges. You can lift them up, point in whichever direction you want. Come on, Peg, stay in here. But yeah, so he's got a cool little armored vehicle mode. And just to show off, come on, there's a little tab back here that just doesn't want to tab together for me. There we go. So there he is in vehicle mode. And just to compare, I'm missing his gun that goes on his back, but there he is with the original Deluxe Onslaught. And you can see it's much larger in size, much more coherent vehicle versus like the space pickup truck that the original Deluxe Onslaught was. There we go. So yeah, he's cool. He's got the nice design, the big armored tires. Just a big, bulky, like you wouldn't want to see that rolling down at you down the street. So just to show that off. And just to show him off with his former counterparts, so the most unchanged with the add-on kits is Vortex. So you get he's a bigger size than Vortex. Here's Blast Off, and again he's got the thruster bits that can attach here that form the cannon in combined mode. And then we have Swindle, who is mostly the same. He does have this backpack attachment here, which also forms a new chest in robot mode, some new guns, and then this combines to form the foot part when you make him combine. But they're, so just to give you an idea how they all look together here. And then here's Brawl. Now, Brawl looks like he's going to mess some stuff up. He gets a whole bunch of extra armament, and this is a whole backpack assembly that just attaches to the tank. And here's the base tank with all the extra. He's got new feet which plug in here into the sides. I think they actually are on his old feet on the bottom of the tank, with his little rotating thing, so he can transform with it. Inside the feet are some little sculpted missile launchers, so it looks like he's a little bit more armored. There's some new fist pieces, and there's a new crotch piece here. And we'll show all that when we get to robot mode. But then this piece, just, you take out his original little rifle there, and this piece, you can see that tab just tabs in to just turn him into a flying tank of death. I mean, like, that's going to blow the crap out of some or some good guys, I guess. Move Vortex back so we can get a good shot of all of them in there together. So that's what they look like. He looks like with the whole team. And again, you don't have to display Brawl with his giant assembly. You don't have to display Swindle with all this if you don't want to. I'm just using this as a quicker way to show off all the various things that come with it, just so we don't have to go over it again and waste more time later on in the review. So there he is. So now you get an idea of how he scales with the other deluxes on his team. We'll do some robot mode comparisons when we get there, and some other things. I also did come prepared this time. So in vehicle mode, he is, let's get this out of the way here. He's about 5.5 inches long. He is just a little over 4 inches wide, and to the top of the cannon is not angled up. He's about just about 4 inches tall. So he's a nice, big, chunky, solid. Well, came unhooked there. Picked him up from the front. Oh yeah, these should all lock in. There's a couple tabs I missed there. These tabs just squish in. That does lock together. There's a couple tabs here that clip in up here. But just so you see, like there's the undercarriage, just to get an idea of what he looks like there in vehicle mode. Get this ruler out of the way here. So yes, finally, for those of you complaining about, I don't know how big that is, I did bring a ruler so we can do this whole measurement thing up. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take him into robot mode now. The first thing we're going to do is split these pieces back here, pull these guns out. They were tabbed together like this, kind of, for, oh, see, now you stay together, for vehicle mode. And now we're going to pull them apart, and they're going to tab together like this for robot mode. Well, I'll show you how it works, but they're going to form a gun like this for onslaught in robot mode. So we'll set that off to the side. Right here, move these out. There are some plates that parts form. You got to pop these little plates off right here. Flip the feet out and around like this. Flip the toes up. Unpeg this. Bring it around on that armature like that. And you'll see there's a little tab here. It's going to tab right up here into the slot. Same over here. And then you've pretty much got his legs done. Bring this whole thing down and around. And you see there's going to be a little tab right here that's going to tab into the front part of his torso. So you'll know you've got that locked into place when that locks together like that. And bring the legs down. This is what I should have tabbed in. Again, you can see there's a couple little tabs here on the right here on these hinges that tab into slots up there. I forgot to do it when I was going back to vehicle mode. It's been a busy night. So you bring these down. This whole piece can rotate out to give you access to these parts. This doesn't matter right now up here. You want to take this. You can see this was all snapped together back here. You just split that. You have to push on this tab a little bit, but you split this and bring these assemblies out to the side. Fold them back up for right now. These hinges right here, these panels come up over the wheels, and you can fold those down. I like to fold them back a little bit to make sure I got room to work. You have to kind of fiddle with these a little bit as you move these pieces around. This piece right here lifts up, and then you can see it's in the slot. You slide it down. It should snap into place. There we go. There we go. Lift his robot mode head up, and then bring this whole assembly down and tab it in just like that. There's his head. The wheels come up, and then these assemblies back here, as I was saying, come back and around. You got to rotate this down. Flip these green panel up, and as you can see, there's a peg here that's going to peg into this peg hole here. So we're going to go ahead, bring that down. Was any of his head transformation on? Sorry, he's so short and gets so tall. Okay, so what I was showing, this part comes up right here. This green piece, slide it down into the slots, bring his head down, and lock that in. Just in case I was off camera, I didn't. I'm checking back and forth, but it's hard to do all this on camera. So the wheels stay up. These come around, like I said, these peg holes are going to peg into the arms. There's a hinge here, so you rotate this whole assembly up to get it past. And then it should snap into place. This one needs to come all straight up like that. Angle these two hinges like that so it's at an angle. Snap this into place. Bring this down. And this is going to come up, and you see there's a little peg right here that's going to peg on the inside of that hinge. And then this flap comes forward. So that all locks together. And then once you've got that done, the wheel comes down and sits in there on the shoulder, and then the flap covers it. And it's going to be the same thing over here. Place, bring that down. Oh, there we go. Get everything locked into place. There we go. And you're tabbed in. Okay, everything's tabbed in now. Like that. These panels, yeah, these panels you can kind of do whatever you want with. You can bend them down straight to the back if you want. That'll give the shoulders a lot more movement. They're supposed to sit up like this, but you can see with that tab, that'll affect a little bit of the shoulder movement. Not a lot. I mean, it's really easy to just move past it, but it really all depends on where you want those shoulders to sit and how you want to pose them. But they do move out of the way. Lock that into place. And here we are. He's almost done. We got to rotate the arms around 180 degrees there to get the full forward elbow bend. And then rotate the forearms around so the green part is on the outside. If I lock these together better, I wouldn't be having this problem. There we go. And then you open up the forearms, and this is where it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. You open up the forearm like this, and then open it up, rotate his fist around. There is no wrist swivel in robot mode, but he's got a lot of other joints that kind of make up for it. Pull that down, pull that in, stand him up, and there is Onslaught in robot mode. Stay up there flat. There we go. Oh, there we go. And then these pieces right here, these flaps that we had earlier, peg in the wheels. You want to rotate them so they're back, so the peg hole is back here, and then find the peg hole in that. These peg into the legs just like this and form the outside of his leg. Flaps a little floppy. And then this gun, like I said, you peg it together like this, which now gives him a peg, and that pegs into his forearm, or on either forearm. Fix that later. But there is Onslaught in robot mode. And he's nice and chunky and sturdy. He's got universal shoulders. He's got the bicep swivel, hinge, or ratcheting hinge elbows. You'll hear that. He doesn't have a wrist swivel, but he does have forearm swivel. His head's on a ball joint, so it's actually, considering the way this transforms, he's actually got a surprising range of motion on his head, which is really cool. He doesn't have a waist swivel because that all latches in. He's got universal hips, a thigh swivel. He does have, it's actually not a ratchet, but it is a very, very tight joint there. And then he does have kind of flaps on his feet, and then the tips of his feet are on ball joints as well. So you've got a lot of good posability with him, especially down the lower leg area. Come on, let's get him to stand flat and we'll move on. There we go. So there he is in robot mode. Now, again, with the ruler, he is from, let me get this out of the way, from the feet to the top of his head, he is just under 7.5 inches tall. A little bit taller than that. Up to the top of his wheels, he's about 8 inches total height. Just to give you an idea about how big he is. How does that scale with figures? Well, here he is with the original Onslaught from the set. So you can see he's much larger and bulkier and just more awesome looking than the original Deluxe. He is a little bit more blue and with a brighter green. Seeing him in these color scheme would be nice, and maybe we'll get that. I don't know. But there he is with Onslaught himself. Here he is with Voyager Grimlock. And you can see they're about evenly matched. He looks a lot bulkier, and he feels a lot bulkier too. But height-wise, they're just about the same height. And here he is with Deluxe Starscream. Another fall Cybertron figure, just to give you an idea of what those two look like together. And then here he is. Now we're going to show the whole team here. Here is Blastoff, and again, he can use his the thrusters as what's going to be his weapon cannon in combined mode. He can hold that. You can peg that together around his hands. He also gets this laser rifle, which is going to be the armature for combined mode, and that's really pretty cool. But you can also give, if you want to, you can give Onslaught the rifles as well. He's got this as standard peg, but since that's going to be his arm, give him the rifle there. Same with Vortex. Vortex doesn't have any add-on parts aside from the rifle, but you can give him a nice big rifle as well. And now we're going to get to the cool stuff. Here is Swindle now. And you'll notice a couple of different things on him. Let's focus here. He has got a brand new chest piece and head, and those side weapon armors split apart and have now formed a couple of laser pistols for him, which is pretty cool. You see the beige doesn't quite match on Swindle, but it's actually pretty decent. And how this works is his whole original head assembly is now just sits on his back, which also solves the problem of that hollow, empty back that he used to have. And then this actually is just a couple pieces up here. Let me untab it. Come here, you. This piece right here is what connects it, but then here's the centerpiece, and this is just got a new head on it, and it's on a ball joint, and it's going to rotate around like that for foot mode because that's how it connects at the foot, and we'll show that off in just a minute. But it's basically just a new head here that snaps on. Like I said, this piece snaps into place right there on his hips, and holds that in place. So it gives him a brand new look. And you can flip his shoulder armor forward. I dig it. I think it's pretty cool. I especially love the fact that, like, not only does the add-on give him a new head and some new stuff, functions as part of the foot, but it also allows him to have that filled in back, which is nice. Go ahead and slide him over here. And then, of course, we have Brawl. Now, Brawl, here's the same backpack armor piece that he had in tank mode. His new feet, his knees are what's given out on him. The new feet that they give him a lot more stability. I'm gonna have to fix his knees because that's the toy itself, not the add-on kit. But he gets this whole backpack, and it just plugs in. In tank mode, this was rotated around and flipped up to plug in like that. So in robot mode, you just flip that around and plug it in like that. He does have these rifle laser cannons up here on swivels, and you can actually pop those right out of the mushroom joint and plug it in and give him a couple of laser rifles if you wanted to go that route as well. And you can still have all this armament on his back, as well as a couple of rifles in his hand, which is neat. And speaking of his hands, you'll notice they're a little longer and bigger, because in robot mode, aside from this, that's like an extra, battle pack that's going to form part of the foot. But in robot mode, he's got those extra feet that I showed you, and they transform, like they plug into where his old feet were on the outside of his legs, and give him much sturdier feet down here, and much more significant feet. And then these pieces were folded up in tank mode, but they're just an extra plate that plugs into his fist. Fold his fist up, and then you plug that in. And it plugs into his fist and into a slot on his forearm, just to fill out that forearm. And then he also has this, instead of having this little weak kind of crotch, there's a new armor plate for down there that just snaps over those, where the leg posts come out. So you've got a much nicer Brawl overall, whether you use the giant backpack of death or not. And again, aside from the giant backpack, even though you can see how the giant backpack is attached, you can actually I think you could actually, well, no, you would have to probably pop that off to transform him. But, actually, do you? Yeah, because of the way that fits in between there, you do have to pop the backpack off to transform. Everything else can stay on him completely, from transformation to robot to tank to robot and back and forth, which is really nice. A lot of really neat add-on stuff in this kit. Get these out of the way here. Get him squared. All right, now to get him into combined mode, I'm going to focus on the limbs first, and we'll come back to him because you kind of have the limbs done for a couple of the parts on this. So we're going to go ahead and take him. We'll set him off to the side, and we'll start off with Swindle. I've already transformed these into mostly limb mode. So you take Swindle in his standard limb configuration here, and then take these 3 parts from the... what is his pistol gun? Okay. From his armor kit. And basically all you're going to do with the head is take this up, rotate it, and fold the head down into the body. You see there's a tab there. Tab that in there just like that. Push that in there. You're going to pull this this connector piece out. And this connector piece can plug into his back right the same way it did in combined mode. You can just store it right back here on the back of the leg, which is nice. Everything has a place to go in alt mode aside from the extra pieces, you know, the duplicate pieces, and we'll get to that later on. So you take this, fold this in, flip this part out, and then this panel comes all the way out to the side. That's going to be one side of the foot. So again, here's the gun bit. Lift this panel up, flip the foot back, zoom down a little bit here. And then this part of the gun just folds in. So you flip that up so they're straight. You take this center piece of the foot, and it's actually easier to put this on first. And basically all you do is you split his legs, and this round part is going to go in the screw hole, and then this square thing helps, the square peg helps secure it in the leg. So the round part's going to go in here, and then the square piece will lock it into this gap right here. So you just push this in, you feel it kind of click into place, and then you'll pop it right back out of place now. And do that, close the legs around it. You can see it kind of gives them a little bit of a foot swivel there. It's really bright, the glare off of that thing. There we go. Now stay focused like that, please. Thank you. And then these 2 pieces, there's a peg hole right here, peg right there. These form. Wait, no, I'm in the wrong peg hole. This peg hole in the front. And there's actually a little tab that should line up properly when you've got it done. You just peg that onto there. Just like that. And same over here. You can see there's a little notch here in the peg. And there's a notch on the peg itself. Right here. So you'll know you got it lined up right. And that's all there is to make Swindle a foot. Keep his... You stay pegged in there, arm. Not cool. Alright, so there's Swindle as the new foot. Just a wider, broader foot piece. Now for Brawl, here's Brawl with all of his extra parts still in his standard foot configuration, or mostly standard foot configuration. This isn't all folded down because we're not going to need that. So you take his backpack of doom here, fold this up, fold the guns up like this, and you'll see here the panels. Take these little missiles here, fold them out so they're at a 90-degree angle here on this joint. And then you just take this and close this up, and you'll see these pieces right here that rotate a little bit for the backpack clip together. And that's going to form the foot on Brawl. You do need to, but when you do that, actually I can just do this, but clip this all together. Make sure that all locks. No, knock the gun out. Okay, I guess that kind of has to go behind there like that. That'll lock together like that. Okay, well, that'll just stay there. Knock the gun off. There's the foot support. And then you take Brawl in foot mode, and there's actually a couple little holes here in the joints that just natural part of the mold. And you're just going to take this and clamp these pegs, these square pegs here, into those holes. So you just push this on like that, come around here, and do the same on this side. Latch that all together. And you can move the gun. If you want to lower the gun a little bit, you can. Yeah, I really snapped that in there. So you can bring the gun down a little bit, have it stick out, however you want. But that's pretty much all there is to making him a leg. You just clamp that foot around. Yep. There we go. Something came loose there. There we go. So there's his foot. Now the arms is where it gets interesting. I'm going to do Vortex first because he's a little easier. So Vortex, you take the skinny... Wow! Vortex, you take the skinnier of the two guns, you'll see that there's a bigger one. There's a different one, the one with the purple on it. Take the smaller of the two guns, and right up here on the back, you'll see here's what's going to be his combiner hand, and you slide that little notch right out of there. Take this, fold the pin up in there, fold the joint down, and fold this down like this. And for Vortex, unpeg him here, and basically this little mushroom joint here at his waist, you're just going to pop that out. It's actually not nearly as hard as, it's not as hard or scary. Like I was concerned, like, oh, I'm going to have to pull them apart. Really not a big deal here. So you just take this whole assembly right here, and where the waist joint was, there's a similar little notch here on the gun, and you just slide that in like that. It'll click into place. There you've got the upper arm. Rotate this so the hinge comes forward. You'll see there's a similar slot for a mushroom peg here on the bottom of the arm, and basically you just take this and from behind just slot it right in there all the way in, and there's pretty much your arm mode. So now you've got the swivel down here where you plugged in, bicep swivel there. You're gonna have the shoulder joint here, and there's the arm. And then you take this fist, rotate it so this is up like this. Actually, no, the other way, this way like this. Okay, and open up this. These circular bits are going to plug in to where the red pieces plug in here, and then there's a couple little tiny little tabs on either side that will clip in between the nose. So you just take this, line it all up. Come on. And plug it all together. Helps if you get all the pegs lined up a little bit first, and then slide this in. There we go. Make sure that's behind the top, and just kind of squeeze it together. Squeeze it down here, and you'll hear it click into place. And then the ball joint on the fist, it's folded up like this. You rotate it down around like that. He's got ball jointed. He's got a ball jointed thumb and then hinged fingers, but each finger is individual, and then the fingertip is individual. Doesn't have the extra joint down here, and then the thumb's on a ball joint. And you can see he's got the circle cut out to hold weapons. And there is Vortex as an arm. It's a much more coherent looking arm. I just split his cockpit apart. Well, once you get that all locked together, it shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, so there he is as an arm. I guess you could fold these under too if you wanted, or fold them up. Of course, if you do that, you're going to split the cockpit apart, and this is going to fall out again. There we go. There we go. Click into place. There we go. So, but anyway, there's Vortex as an arm. And then for blast off, something similar. Take his gun, and again, here on the bottom, you slide. It just pegs into the bottom. But you slide his fist out. Take this, bring this up like that. Rotate the joint like that. That's going to be his joint. Flip these two panels up right here. Fold this tip of the gun up, and then peg the fist into the end of the gun. And you see he's going to have, he's got kind of the whole armature for the arm here. And then on Vortex, or Blast Off, I'm going to get all these wrong. Unpeg the legs, and basically you're just going to pop these two pieces off, just like that, off the shoulder joints, and just like we did on Vortex on the mushroom joint, slide his legs off. Most of you who play with these toys realize that sometimes these just come off on their own anyway. And then this panel right here, this little flip-up panel that hides, pop that off. So you take this, flip this up in half, fold these down. I'll bring these down and out. And this assembly right here snaps. These two pegs right here on the gun slot into right over here into this hinge, right above this hinge on him. So you slot this on, and then they're going to peg in on either side here. So slot this on. Let me get this lined up right. There we go. So you slot that all on like that. You'll notice like if his head isn't facing inward, you're going to see it, but fret not, because This panel we just popped off snaps right in here to cover that up. And then on this armature down here, fold the legs up. The Space Shuttle legs, there's 2 pegs on the back that plug into the arm. And then the 2 pegs on the front here, this whole assembly pegs onto the front. And yeah, there you go. Just peg all that together. And you've got his arm mode. He's got the hinge joint there, ratcheting joint up here at the shoulder. And I guess you could fold these up too if you want. Yeah, you fold those up underneath it, fix it in. So there's blast off as an arm. He's got the same articulated fingers over here. So now on to Onslaught. We're going to pull this gun off. And a lot of his transformation, not all of it, but a lot of it starting off here is very similar to his car mode transformation. We do the same thing with the arms, which we lift the wheels up, bring these flaps down, untab the arms and bring them to the back. Just you take this, the flaps fold in like that. There's actually you'll know you've got it lined up when the flat sits in there between these 2 pieces. You can see like when it twists, those 2 pieces together form a slot for the arm flap. And we're going to bring those around. Remember how to do this. Got to rotate everything so it all comes together. So again, these ends are going to peg into there. You got to have it like that. There we go. So again, bring that around, bring that up, over, and rotate it there like that. So these come together and lock together again. Pull these double hinges, widen them out. Peg these 2 pieces together and latch them, and then again plug them into there, just like that. And bring them back. Open them up, fold the hands in. And these are actually the connectors for the legs, which is kind of cool. Fold these up, latch it in. Yeah, so there we go, lock together, everybody. Helps it make sure all the joints. Come on. Oh, did you pop off? There we go. Come on. Be my friend here. There we go. Lock you back in. When everything's all locked together, it all locks together very well. I'm holding it by the wrong parts. I'm not supporting it properly while I'm transforming it here. I'm going to bring these down around like this. But we'll get to that later. I mean, you can see where the how these are going. Oh, there we go, down like this, and then rotate them around like that. Down like this. So you want that 90-degree joint, and then like that. Well, I guess if you wanted, yeah, there we go. Rotate them around so the green's on the back, and then flip these 2 panels out. And you can see how the lower body of the robot is coming together. Oh, those are just on mushroom joints, so I just popped that off. Anyway, you should be locked up. My fault. All right, so these come down. The wheels on the torso come down just like they did before, and lock down here on the body. These panels come forward. Actually, we're not going to bring those panels forward yet. We'll bring those up. Pop his head out here. Fold his robot head down in there. This whole assembly comes up and out, and there you see the combined mode head. Let me get this up a little higher again. So all that comes down. Then you unpeg this. Come on, lift that up, unlock it. Rotate this whole assembly around. Come on, there we go. And then lock it. Bring it down forward again. Or actually back, okay. Back like that. And now you see how this is all coming together. The legs, that's going to come down. There's the crotch piece. There are the legs. Bring these up. Fold the head up. And then here's where it gets interesting, because how the arms connect, should actually, there we go, that should actually snap down and cover over that hinge. So you have to have this open, Actually, might want to help to have the head down. So you take Vortex here. See that gun? You push it through here. You slide it all the way into the torso, and then it locks. You take the tip part of the gun, and you fold it forward, and it locks that in place. It's really pretty neat. And then you can fold this flap down over it to hide that joint. I'm going to go ahead and pull these panels off. I meant to do these panels off earlier, but we'll go ahead and pop those off. And it's the same with blast off. You take him, take that gun, slide it. You can see there's a hinge right here on the gun. Slide that in, push it all the way through until it snaps, and then take that gun barrel and fold it on the inside. And then you can take his head, you actually take his head and rotate it back like this, which will reveal this tab here. And then bring Devastator or Bruticus's head down, and you're going to tab this right here onto this green tab here. Like that, locks that down, and Onslaught's head's kind of sitting there. We'll take care of that in just a minute. But then this panel comes forward and folds down on the front. That wheel should stay locked in place. So there you see how the torsos come together here. Now these pieces right here, those same hinges, we should have rotated the legs out like this earlier. So you rotate these together. These pieces actually, the hinges we had right here, come up and how do we do that? Oh yeah, okay, so you rotate the legs up like this, and then on these hinges it comes up and locks into place right here, and there's a tab here that locks these two pieces together. So now you've got the whole back piece that comes up, fills in his back, covers up the face mostly, and again, we'll get to more of the face in it. So that folds up, and now you've pretty much got this done. And now, like, it's still not quite secure. These shoulder guns, you rotate them up like this, and then there is a slot right here and a slot right here that are going to fit over this slot and lock this whole assembly together. So you put that on. Nope, I missed the tab back here. Get that tab lined up, lock that down, and now the whole backpack is secure as well by this cannon on its shoulder, which is really cool. And we'll do the same thing here. That lined up. It helps if you tab this one on first and then just kind of line this one up as you do it. You can do it either way. There we go. Lock that all together. And there you have the whole upper torso. And then down here, you just take these squares right here and plug them right into the Energon ports already provided for you on the figures. So you snap those on. There he is, nice and tall. And then, come up here. And you take these panels, flip these up, and then you just peg them in right here on the sides. Well, helps if you actually put some pressure behind it on this little flap here. So you flip that up, slide it on, and same over here. Put some pressure on the flap behind it so it locks on securely. But you just peg those on, and there he is all together. And that's pretty impressive. Let me see if I can get another angle here to get all of them in the shot. Here we go. So Bruticus's head is on a ball joint. I can look up and down. You got ratchets in the shoulders, both directions. You got ratchets in the elbows. You got the elbow swivel. Ball jointed fingers. The wrists are on ball joints. I mean, he does not. Again, does he have a waist swivel? No, he does not have a waist swivel. It looks like in combined mode. But oh well. I mean, like, and then you've got the you got ratcheting hips in both directions. You've got the knee ratchets from the actual combiner piece, and you've got a little bit of room for the foot swivel here in the feet. So you've got a lot of, I mean, like, he's nice and big and huge. And again, for size comparisons, we'll do with the figures first. Here he is with Starscream. Here he is with Grimlock. And here he is with the original Bruticus. That used to be that whole torso. If you can believe it. I think I knocked the camera off a little to the side. See if I can get a little bit where you don't have any of the wall stuff on there. Get mostly centered. So yeah, he's quite big, quite large, and very, very cool. Put those off to the side. Height-wise, we'll bust out the ruler. He is, let's get this out of the way here. From foot to the top of his head, he is almost exactly 12 inches, and he's just under 14 to the top of these cannons here on his shoulders. And the cannons, let me see if I can get him just a little bit more here. The cannons, since they are on those hinges, you can rotate the cannons over his shoulders if you want. Entirely up to you. As for long-range weaponry outside of the cannons, like I said, this piece right here that we had before, you just fold his hand, you just make this hand into a fist, rotate it, nope, I unplugged it. Rotate it to be flat, and then there's a couple of posts in there. You just pass those through his fist, like that, and like that. Oh, come on, go in there, fist. There we go. And, didn't snap together properly before I got there. So, and now he's got his proper blaster cannon, if you want that. So that's really, really cool. Now, as for the extras, now this, like I said, this is the first run extra Comic-Con color pieces, and it's basically just these 3-foot pieces and these 2 panels that are different. And you see, like, in the actual package, the ones that come in the actual package are these. There's yellow pieces for Swindle that match the retail version, and then some brighter green pieces for that. And basically, it's just the same pieces. You just pop these 2 panels off and snap these into place on Vortex or Brawl's foot. And then these panels, you actually have to pop out the little gun pieces, pop out and swap between the pieces. The foot on the back swaps out between the pieces. And then on this piece, the head assembly is on a ball joint. So you don't get 2 of each, but you do get the different colored panels. Like when this came, these pieces were the ones that were in the plastic tray, and these came in some extra baggies in the back. Also in the tray, which means if they do another version of this, it may include a different face. But also in the tray was the first run Berserker face. Let me see if we can focus in on that here. You can see it's got missing the face plate, looks angry. And that's really easy to swap out here on Bruticus. You just lift his head up, pull on his chin a little bit, and his helmet, his face-plated face, get a close up of that, will pop out. And then you just pop this one in if you want to give him kind of a snarly, maskless face. Kind of looks more Megatron-y. But yeah, that is the military Titans kit from Microblaze. It's very awesome. It looks way more imposing than the original. I almost kind of wish I'd gone ahead and spent the time digging the retail version out of the shelf just to show you the difference between the 2 molds, because it's really a shocking difference. And this is, like I said, I just feel like this is a much more coherent, cohesive, and intimidating Bruticus than the one we got at retail, even with the original, with that original kit that you could get that added to it. And you can actually put Swindle's gun back on here too if you want. Sometimes I store it there on the leg. So yeah, definitely worth the buy. Definitely not canceled. Microblaze Military Titans MBC002. Thank you very much, Microblaze, for letting me check this out. I'm very happy with this. There's a couple things that are a little loose, which I'm sure you saw during the video, that I wish tabbed in a little bit better. Easy for me to fix. And this is an early review sample. It should be pretty much final here, but and they should be hitting soon. But just a really nice set, and I think it really takes that, even more so than that original add-on kit. It takes what was kind of a mediocre is being generous combiner and makes him into something that I would be almost the centerpiece for a shelf. Certainly the centerpiece for a fall Cybertron display. So there you go.